There's 4 layers of abdominal muscles, and the one closest to the skin, the most superficial, is the rectus, and the muscle fibers go up and down. And if you see a really muscular person, that's the six pack, that's the rectus. And then under that, you've got the external obliques, under that, the internal obliques, and the obliques make a crisscross, they go diagonal. And then the deepest layer is the transverse abdominals, and it goes all the way around across. And what's kind of interesting is the transverse is the deepest layer, but right about here, the rectus actually goes underneath it. So then that becomes the deepest layer right at the bottom. And we'll be working with this spot right at the bottom, which tends to be weak on a lot of us. And you can think about, if you are putting on a pair of pants right out of the dryer and they're hot and they're like kind of tight. So you lay down and then first you button them and then you zip. So I'll talk about that concept, the button and the zip. And the button is engaging the transverse, kind of drawing in this way. And then the zip is engaging the lower part of the rectus. Okay, enough of that jibber jabber. So we'll start by just kind of feeling that. Let's come lay down on your mat, and I'll recommend legs straight. If that isn't comfortable for you, you can keep the knees bent. And we'll place your hands on the belly, below the navel, and above the pubic bone. So that little spot I was showing earlier. And at first here, just relax. And you might feel a little bit of natural movement happening when you breathe. Notice too that when you're in this relaxed state, for most of us, the legs have a tendency to flop out or go into external rotation. And we'll start to create a little engagement right here through the lower belly. So breathe in just a normal breath. And then as you exhale, pretend that the legs are really heavy, but you're trying to lift them up off the floor. And you might feel a kind of little firming sensation under the hands. On the inhale, just let that relax. So take that a couple of times. Every time you exhale, it's like you're trying to lift the legs, but they are too heavy to actually lift. And you might feel the legs roll in a little bit when you do that. What I'm hoping you're also feeling is the fingers getting a little closer together. That's the action of the buttoning the pants, the transverse. Great. And then we'll let the effort go. Let's take your arms out wide, palms facing up, just straight out from the shoulders. Now we'll take a breath in. On the exhale, same effort through the low belly and the legs, and let's also let the arms hover just a little bit off the floor. And on the inhale, you'll put the arms back down. So take that a couple of times. The exhale is a lift in the arms, a pretend lift in the legs, and engagement through the belly. Now, at least for now, none of these movements are really aggressive. You could do it really, really strong, really firm, but avoid that for now. Let it just be a gradual contraction. Yeah, we're going to add on a little bit. So next time the arms come down, we'll bend up the knees so the feet are on the floor. The inhale is relax. And then on the exhale, let's find that effort and lift one leg just a little bit off the floor. So the arms are lifting too. And on the inhale, put it back down. On the exhale, the second leg lifts and the arms lift. Yeah, so just keep going with that. And it's not a huge leg lift, just a couple inches off the floor. Now, notice also that this can be done without moving the pelvis like a cat-cow tilt. You can keep the pelvis neutral while taking these movements. Great. And then let's finish up one last one here. And we'll take a little break, release the arms. If it feels good, you can widen the feet and maybe take a few windshield wipers, letting the knees go from side to side. Yeah, all right. And then from here, yogis, let's pick up your legs and keep the knees bent. Place your hands on the thighs close to the knees. And then here we'll breathe in. On your exhale, press the hands and the legs into each other and find that engagement through the lowest part of the belly. On the inhale, you'll back off and do that a couple more times and see if you can do it without lifting the tailbone up off the floor so the pelvis stays fairly neutral here. Yeah, so the effort will happen on the exhales. Great, and then let's do one more. And we'll change your pattern a little bit here. So keep the legs elevated. Place the right hand on top of the left hand and find that pressure and just hold that. Now lift the right shin so the shin is parallel to the floor and let the whole right leg, keep the knee bent and let the leg go a little forward and the foot tap down on the floor, and then you'll come back up. So that's our pattern here, just back and forth with the right leg. If you want to do it, you could do movement, going down on the exhale and coming back up on the inhale. But if not, you could just breathe any way that makes sense, keeping a little pressure on the left side the whole time. Yeah. Now here, if this is going pretty easy and you want more of a challenge, as the leg is lowering down, let it go a little bit straighter. And it may or may not actually touch the floor. You could just do a little hover. Yeah. See if you can keep the pressure on the left side. Right. And then we'll finish up this one and we'll switch to the other side. Let's just take a little moment in the center. If you need to wiggle around a little bit, you can. And then we'll swap. So both hands go on the left side. Right shin lifts. Keep the pressure on the right side. And then the left one will just go up and down at first, keeping this same position of the leg without going straight quite yet. You might find there's a difference on the two sides. I find this side a little more challenging. And the whole time, what we're not doing is rocking the pelvis back and forth. So the pelvis stays still, the low back stays in the initial position you've set it. If you'd like to add on, you can start letting the leg go straighter, a little further out. Great. And then in a second, we'll change again. So just give yourself another break, maybe a little movement. We won't be on the back the whole class, I promise. And then for this next one, let's go back to, let's do this actually. Right hand on the left leg. Left hand will lift your head up. Now, if it's too much with the head up, you could put the head down and keep both hands on the leg like we just did. Let's straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep the pressure on the other side, and then up and down we go with the straight right leg. But again, you're only going as far as you can without the pelvis rocking. So you wanna, I can hardly talk here. You keep the pelvis still. Yeah. And sometimes I see these done super duper fast, I think in an effort maybe to get done faster, but I think it's just as productive to go slow with it. So you choose your speed. And then we'll stay on this side and change the movement a little bit. You bend the knee. Yeah, take a break whenever you need, and then straighten. So it's making like a circle, like a little bicycle circle. And then you can change the direction of that. All right, last thing on this side. Let's pause with the leg up. Maybe go a little forward, but not all the way down yet. Now take your right hand and put it to the inside of the left knee. Press in on the kind of on the diagonal. Keep that as you lower the right leg any amount, and we'll just hold for this one. Huh. Mercedes, how you doing over there? I can't see you. Okay, good. And then come rest. Huh. Oh, you guys, we've still got another side, but just take a second. Carrie, how about you? You nice and quiet over there? Yeah, okay. And my friends at home, I can't see you, but I know you're doing awesome. Let's do the second side. So that'll be left hand, right leg. Start on the front, on the top of the leg, and then hold up your head if that's acceptable for you. We'll pick up the left leg straight. Keep pressure on the right side, and then up and down we go with a straight leg. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I taught class last night, and I gave folks the choice. There's a breathing practice or the core practice, and they all voted for the breathing practice last night, so you guys get the core today. Let's change it to the bicycle circle. I suppose we could have repeated the other one, but too late now. We're in. Change the direction. Yeah, it is, isn't it? A lot of work for just laying around on the floor, huh? Okay, this last spot, let's pause with the leg up, go slightly forward with the straight leg, and take your left hand to the inside of the right knee. Hold the pressure there, and then lower the left leg any amount, and we'll just stay. Yeah. Okay. Be done. Rest. Yeah, just move the legs around a little bit. Take any sort of little wigglies. Okay, so we'll do one more sequence laying down on your back, and we'll start with one thing, possibly add on, possibly not. So you'll come onto the back of the pelvis and on your elbows, so that you'll kind of prop up like this. And if you have padding here, you might want that to be on a blanket. So here we are in this position. And at first here, actually for the whole time, let the pelvis tuck under a little bit and let the belly hollow down. So it makes this like a little boat. Now you can stay like this, just with 2 feet on the floor. You could go up onto your tippy toes, or maybe lift one leg or both legs up into this position. If the legs are lifted and it's still no big deal, you can try it with one leg or both legs straight. Yeah. And if it's still no big deal, you can go a little lower and possibly lift the arms up off the floor. Yeah. Like, no. Yeah. And then to get out, if the arms came up, put them back down, put the legs down, just relax. You guys did great. Yeah. Now we're going one more time. Possible add-on, possible, like, I'm a crazy person. If you want to try it with a little extra height, that makes it worse. I'm going to show with a block. So just one block on the lowest height. You guys are like, no. And then we'll start the same way. So you're elevated, possibly. You're on the elbows, you're on the feet. And then we'll start just with that hollow state. So let the belly drop down. The pelvis will tuck under a little for this one. You could stay, you could go onto your tippy toes, you could alternate leg lifts, you could lift both. Yeah, and then if you're up for it, the legs go straight. Maybe you let go with the arms. Yeah, finger, you could lift a finger maybe. Yeah, yeah, if you can laugh while doing it, more power to you. And then, oh, down we come. Enough of those, relax. Oh, yogis. Yeah, if you need any little movement, take whatever you want here. Oh, so good to be done with those, huh? Yeah. So when you're ready, just take whatever time you need. We'll turn over, coming to all fours position, hands and knees. Yeah. And it might feel good after what we've just done to move the belly around a little bit, move the spine, take whatever feels good. We'll do traditional cat-cow in a second. If you want to start with that, you can. Otherwise, just wiggle. All right. And then let's let the movement settle down, just coming to neutral. Breathe in. And on the exhale, round into cat pose. Yeah. Inhale, you'll undo, coming into cow. And just take that back and forth for a moment, the normal way that you would go. Great, we're gonna change the pattern a little bit. So the next time you come into cow pose, meet me here. So just a little bit of an arch in the back. And in super duper slow motion, we'll head into cat, starting at the very tip of the tailbone. Let the tailbone drop, and at the other side, the belly will lift a lot. And then from the bottom to the top, start to round, round, round. Don't let the head come until the very, very end. Yeah. And then you'll reset back to your cow pose. And we'll go again from the very tip of the tailbone down, the low belly lifts, and then one vertebra at a time, we press, 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 and eventually here we're in our cat pose. And then let's do last one. So back to cow we go, from the tip of the tailbone down, and then lift one little piece at a time. Yay. All right. And then from here, let's head back to child's pose. You can have the toes tucked under, and just for a second, go onto your fingertips. Give them out a little scrunch up action with your hands. Yeah, okay. And then let's stay in the position, put the hands flat down and walk them as far forward as you can comfortably. Press down into the floor, lift up through the belly, round the back. So we go to cat pose, but keep coming forward. Undo the toes and then undo the spine. So we lift the chest, but don't lose the lift in the belly. Keep a little bit of, yes, exactly. And then we go up and back to that. Let's go about halfway to child's pose. You can do whatever you want with your feet. And then we'll round, lift up through the belly. Continue forward until the spine unravels, the chest lifts, but we stay lifted through the belly. Gorgeous. And then go back about halfway to child's pose. Let's do that one twice more. So we round and come forward. And then we unravel, but keep the support through the belly. Great. And we'll do last one here. Yeah. Next time you come back, we'll just rest in child's pose again. Once you arrive, flip your hands over and move the fingers. Just curl the fingers in and out so that you can relax the hands a bit. Okay. And then from here, let's put the hands back down, reset yourself, and come into downward facing dog. Go ahead, first one of the day, especially early in the mornings, usually pretty tight. So you can pedal out the legs. I don't know if you guys can hear me online. My joints are all creaky. And then from here, let's bring the hands and feet together, coming into a forward fold. Any way you want to get there is fine. And then from here, separate your feet kind of wide and just prop up so the forearms are on the thighs. Yeah. Move the pelvis back, move the chest forward. Root down through the feet, firm up through the core. And then on the inhale, we'll just come right up to stand. Lift the arms, stretch out the legs. Okay, release the arms. Yeah. Let's stay standing. You can keep this kind of wide stance. Be a little bit lazy in your legs. And then just move a little bit through the spine, the shoulder blades, the head, whatever wants to move. Slitherasana is what I call this one. All right. And then from here, we'll do a little bit of standing cat-cow. I'm going to face this side. Let the knees bend. Let the back round and bring the backs of the wrists together. And then on the inhale, flip the palms open, lift up. Exhale, we'll round and come in. Yeah, do a couple of those. So inhale, we open. And exhale, we close. Great. Next time we inhale, let's take the arms up overhead. Bring the feet just right underneath you. Exhale, we'll take it down for a forward fold. And come up halfway lengthen. And then let's go down and back into plank pose. We won't stay. We'll do some more planks later. And from here, come all the way down to the belly. Stay on the belly. Keep your hands right by the lower ribs. Lift the shoulders away from the floor. And without moving your hands, try to pull the hands towards your feet. Let the rib cage draw forward as you lift. And it's not a big lift, just a little one. Lower yourself down. We'll do that again if you want to also lift the legs. That's an option. Think of growing longer rather than going higher for these. Yeah. Good, good. And then last one. Let's stay lifted in the chest. Put the feet down. Press into the floor. And then come back. Just a quickie child's pose. Stretch your back out the other direction. And then from here, we'll come to all fours position. Take your right leg back with the toes tucked under and give yourself just a little back and forth. Just a little, you get a calf stretch here. And then we'll keep the right leg in place. Scooch the left knee just a little bit forward of where you have it. And we'll keep the top of the left foot on the floor the whole time. Inhale. On the exhale, firm the belly, lift the left knee, but press the top of the foot into the floor. Yes, you can do it. And then inhale to put it down. So it's the left knee, the bent one, that lifts. Yeah. It's pretty horrible, even though it doesn't look like it. And then come back down. Do that a couple of times and see if you can do it without creating a big rounding sensation in the back. So the spine stays pretty neutral. You might round it a little bit, but not a whole lot. Good. And then the last one. Let's put the other knee down. Go back to child's pose. Take anything you like with the hands. Maybe prop up under the fingertips, wiggle the wrists, whatever you need to do. All right, guys. Then we'll do that on side two. So reset. Stretch the left leg back, toes tucked under, and at first just give yourself a little movement. Mercedes, put your toes that way. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll pause. Take the right knee just a smidge forward. Press the top of the foot down. Inhale. On the exhale, hover the right knee, but keep the foot pressing down. Yeah, and then come back down. Do that a couple of times, and I'm hoping you feel that sensation of buttoning and zipping the pants low in the belly. A couple more of those. All right, and then when you're done, let's go back, downward dog just for a second, we won't stay. And from your dog, we'll come to the top of the mat, feet to the hands, root down to rise up, inhale, all the way up we come. Exhale, release the arms, let's give the wrists some circles. Yeah, give our poor hands a break. And once the arms are down, let's take the hips around in a little circle. Hula hoop asana. And we'll go the other direction with that. Great. So let's be at the front of the mat. Let the movement settle. Root down into the legs. Inhale, up come the arms. Exhale, down we go, forward fold. Come up halfway, we lengthen. And now let's go again, plank to the belly. Any way you want to get there is fine. And once you're down on the belly, prop up onto the forearms. And let's have the elbows just a little bit ahead of the shoulders. Yeah. At first, let yourself drop down a little bit. And without moving your arms, try to pull the elbows back just below the navel, lift. And then from there, let the whole spine lift. It's a little bit similar to cobra or sphinx pose, but slightly different arms. Yeah. Keep the lift up just below the navel. Find that zipping and buttoning of the pants, even though we're in a little back bend here. And then lower yourself down. We're going to add on, possibly. So press down through the forearms. Try to pull the elbows back, lift just below the navel, come up into the position where we just were. Feel free to stay right here or even come in and out of it. If you're up for an add-on, we'll go onto the knees, and then instead of pulling the arms back, you'll push them forward. So let's go ahead and try that. So here we are up on the knees. Yes, press the forearms forward. That's it, lift up just below the navel, and it's okay if you're a little bit rounded in this version of the pose. No, you did great. And then bring yourself back down. We're gonna do 2 more add-ons, and always feel free not to. So, one more time, drop down, pull the forearms back, lift up just below the navel. Maybe this is it. If you're adding on, same as before, press the forearms forward, go up onto the knees, lift up just below the navel. If you're still adding on, tuck the toes under, straighten out the legs, keep the forearms pressing forward, just below the navel, lifting. And it's a-okay if you're a little more rounded than you normally would be. Yeah. Okay, down we come, rest. Yeah. Okay, yeah, good. The last add-on, this one's a real doozy, so maybe you don't do it, but we'll do all the previous stages, and then when it's time to straighten the legs, if tucking the toes under felt pretty easy, try it with the tops of the feet on the floor. It's pretty horrible. If you don't want to do it, I fully understand. Okay, so starting at the beginning, let yourself drop down. Forearms pull back, chest pulls forward, just below the navel is lifted. Yeah, this is a great place to stay. Then if you're going on, press forward, go up onto the knees. You choose what the feet are gonna do if you still choose to add on. When you're ready, up come the legs straight, maybe. Yeah. The good news about me doing this version is we won't stay as long because I'm slipping. Okay, lightly, nice and easy. Down we come, rest. Oh, yogis, we're done with those. Take a little break, rest your forehead on the hands. Bend your knees and give the legs a little side to side swish, one side and the other. Yeah, great. Okay, and then we'll press back a quickie child's pose. Go ahead and just get there. And then reset to your all fours, hands and knees position. Yeah, so we're fairly familiar. Let me just show real quick this spinal balance, and we come in. We're gonna do a little variation of it and try to keep the spine neutral the whole time. So don't do cat-cow within the movement. Let's go ahead and just find that. So clear the shoulders, give the collarbones a little space, and then find that zipping and buttoning of the pants. Great. Bring the knees a little closer together. Let's stretch the left leg back and the right arm forward, or just do the leg if arm and leg together are too much. Inhale. On the exhale, come in, and if you can, place the hand on the thigh and press like we did laying down. And then on the inhale, re-lengthen. Doing that a couple of times. A little pressure on the exhale, maybe. Good. Good, good, good. And then when you're done, we'll release and just go straight into the second side. First, let's find that neutral. So clear the shoulders and then find the lift through the belly. Up comes the right leg and the left arm, or just the leg. And then on the exhale, you'll come in and press. If the press is too much, just come in without it. Yeah, so keeping a neutral spine the whole time. Let the stability be just as important, maybe more so than the movement. Great. All right, guys. And then we'll be done. Take a little break. Let's do child's pose. Yeah, if the hands need a little wiggle, anything is fine. Okay, so we're going to stretch the calves in a second. I'm going to do it in down dog. If you've had enough on your hands for a while, you can do it standing. I'll just show standing. Kind of like a lunge with the leg back. So feel free to do it that way, or join me in down dog. If you're in down dog, let's step the right leg just a little forward, straighten the right leg and sink the heel towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch. Let the left knee bend. And then if it feels all right to add a little hip side to side, go ahead and do that. Yeah. And then we'll undo. Change to the second side. So the left foot steps a little forward, sink the heel down, go straighter in the leg. Let the right knee bend and possibly a little side to side. Good. Okay, back to neutral, and then up to stand, root down to rise up, inhale, up we come. And release your arms. Yay. Okay, so next we'll take a variation of Warrior One and a twist variation, and it'll be a little, this one will be more for the oblique muscles, and I'll explain it as we go. If you have blocks, I'll recommend the blocks at the front of the mat. Is my hair just a complete mess here? Yeah, oh well. No. Well, it's hard because I've got all this stuff on, and then when I lay down, all right. Anyway, sorry about that. So here we are at the front of the mat. Hands onto the hips. Let's step the right leg back with the heel down on the floor. And it doesn't have to be, yeah, go ahead and move the blanket so that you got a firm base. It doesn't have to be a huge step back. It's okay if it's kind of a shorty Warrior One. And as you're in this position, press the back heel down into the floor. Notice how that turns the pelvis a little to the right. Think about your navel trying to pull towards the right foot, which will turn the pelvis a little more to the right. Different instructions than we often will give for Warrior One. Now take your hands and cross like a mummy in the front. Keep the navel pulling to the back foot. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the front knee and turn your chest towards the front of the room. That's it. Come back up. Let's do this with the breath. So the inhale is come up, the exhale is bend and turn the chest forward, but keep the navel pulling to the back foot. Yeah. And if it's a little tongue twister for the body and the brain, great. Yeah. Good. Next time the front knee bends, let's stay. Keep the navel in the back foot. Let's undo the arms. Take the arms up. So it's a little more like traditional Warrior One. And then go ahead and let the front leg go straighter. Hands come down to the floor or to blocks. You could do just a halfway if coming all the way down doesn't work for you. And now from this position, let's keep the navel pulling to the back foot. Move the chest forward and put the left hand just hand to the hip. Inhale. On the exhale, turn the chest to the left, but keep the navel pulling to the back foot. Inhale to back off, let the chest go parallel to the floor. Do that a couple of times. So the exhale is the turn, and the inhale is to center. The whole time we're keeping the navel pulling towards the back foot. Yes, yogis. We're going to change the pattern. Let's put the left hand down. Put the right hand to the hip, and you might have to adjust, maybe go a little bit longer in your stance. Now we'll draw the navel towards the front foot. Inhale. On the exhale, turn the chest open to the right. So similar to triangle pose. Inhale to come back down. Exhale, the navel stays in the front foot as we turn open. Yeah. Let's do a few of those. And I'm hoping you'll feel this kind of deep in the side body. Great. When you're ready to be done, come down, 2 hands down, bend the front knee. Take the arms back for a second, and then on the inhale, come up to warrior one. We'll just hold for a moment. Try to keep the navel towards the back foot, the chest turning forward. Inhale. And on the exhale, step forward and release. Yay. I'm going to face the other direction just so I can see you here. All right, so hands to the hips. Let's step the left leg back, heel down to the floor. Start with both legs straight. Really press the back heel down. And notice when we do that, the pelvis turns a little to the left. Now pull the navel to the left foot, and that'll turn it a little more to the left. Crisscross the arms across the chest. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the front knee, turn the chest forward, keeping the navel in the back foot. Inhale to back off, coming to center. Do that a couple more times. So the movement and really the effort here is on the exhales. Yeah. Nice job, nice job. And then the next time you come with the bent knee, we'll stay. Navel stays in the back foot. Go ahead, undo the arms, reach the arms up. Inhale here. On the exhale, come on down. You can go straighter in the front leg. Yeah, good. And then let's keep the navel going towards the back foot. Put the right hand to the hip. Inhale. On the exhale, turn the chest open towards the right, but keep the navel in the back foot. It's a twist. Yeah, inhale to center. And do that a couple more times. I'm just going to show maybe how it would look if coming all the way down is a no-go. You just come here and twist. Yeah, you could do it with hands to the wall and twist if you need. Great. All right, next time you come down, we'll change hands. So the right hand stays down. Left hand comes to the hip. Now pull the navel towards the front foot. Inhale. And on the exhale, we'll turn. Chest open to the left. Do that one a few times. Yeah, so when we think about oblique work, often we're thinking of doing a side bend, but twists, oh yeah, twists definitely get there. All right, next time you come back to center, let's release the arm, rebend the front knee, take your arms back, use the inhale to come up, just normal warrior one. Keep the navel towards the back foot and the chest forward. Let's take one more breath in, and then on the exhale, just step forward and let it go. Okay, yogis. Yeah, just take a little circle, hula hoop, and then we'll go the other direction. Good. Let's move a little bit, and then we'll do the same idea in warrior two and side angle. So you can move your blocks if you have them. Find your mountain pose, front of the mat. Root down through the feet, down through the legs. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down. Forward fold. Come up halfway, we'll lengthen. And then down we go, hands to the floor. Let's go back to plank pose. And then bring the knees down and go back about halfway to child's pose. So we've done this already. I'm just reviewing. Press into the floor, lift up just below the navel, come forward with the round back. Keep coming forward until you unravel, and then the chest lifts, but we keep the support through the lowest part of the belly. Gorgeous. And then come up and back again. Yeah. Do that transition just a few times. And then we'll complete the round that you're on and meet in child's pose. And I'll show a possible add-on for some of you. Okay. And then just rest for a second, watch me. For the add-on, if you wish to take it, you'll start in plank pose just to figure out your distance. From there, go to down dog and don't step the feet forward, even though it might feel kind of long. Watch my feet. I'm gonna go really high on the feet. At the same time, lift up through the belly. Watch my head, it's curled in. I come forward, forward, forward until the shoulders are over the wrists. And then I lengthen in the plank. But for this one, I'm not gonna go down here. I'm gonna stay up here the whole time. And then going back is like magic. You lift up to go back. Yeah, so here's how it looks a little quicker. Same idea as before, but it's a little more challenging now that you've got the knees off the floor. Yeah? Okay, so go ahead and take that again. If you could do the knees down version if you need, or start just a quickie plank and then back to down dog. I'm gonna watch you. And then go really high on the feet, lift up through the belly, around the back, pull the head in and stay round as you travel forward. Gorgeous. And then once you get there, then unround. Yeah, so good. And then go up and back, downward facing dog. You guys look magnificent. Do that 2 more times. And if it gets too much, just put the knees down. Yes! Carrie and Mercedes look magic. It's so good. And you guys at home, I can't really see, but I bet it's looking awesome too. Oh, so nice, you guys. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I know. And then when you're done, just take a little break, child's pose. The head, I know. We forget the head, and it actually makes it easier if you remember the head. So we'll get to another time. Yeah. Okay, yogis. Let's just come up to stand. No fanfare, just get there. Yeah, I was so impressed. Those were just great. So next, we'll get into Warrior 2, but we'll just get in there more like Iyengar style. So go stand in the middle of your mat. Take your feet wide apart, and we'll go this direction first. So the left leg turns in, the right leg turns out. And from here, bend the right knee, coming into just Warrior 2 legs. Let's take the mummy arm position like we did in Warrior 1. And bring your navel, straighten the front leg for a second. Bring the navel towards the front leg, yeah, towards the front foot. Inhale. On the exhale, rebend the knee and turn the chest towards the long end of the mat, but keep the navel going towards the front foot. Inhale to come back up and back off. So do that a few times. Again, it's the navel going towards the front foot. The chest is turning towards the long end of the mat. So there's a little bit of a twist going on. Yeah. Good. And having the arms here, it's just to get the arms out of it and let it be more in the core. When you're ready, let's pause. Next time the front knee is bent, navel stays in the front foot, chest is to the long end of the mat. Let's go just classic arms here, arms wide. You can turn to look over the front hand, or you can just stay looking straight ahead, whatever you like. Okay. Now, similar idea for our side angle. Let's put the hands to the hips for a second. The front leg deep in the hip crease, and let's bring the forearm to the thigh. We've all got a different front leg here, so I'm not going to say rights and lefts. And then the hand that's on the hip, let that side of the chest kind of turn towards the floor for a second. Bring your navel towards the front foot again. Inhale. On the exhale, turn the shoulders away from the floor. So, yeah, but keep the navel pulling to the front foot. Inhale to back off. Let's do that a few more times. So the effort here will be on the exhale. Navel to the front foot, chest turns open. Yeah, great. And then when you're ready to be done, we'll come up. Let's change the legs to the second side. So rotate in on the back leg, rotate out on the new front leg. Hands to hips, bend the front knee, warrior two legs. Mummy cross in the arms. You guys, I'm like wearing my Halloween mask, talking about mummies. I can't wait. Okay. So keep the navel pulling towards the front foot. Let's straighten the front leg. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the knee, turn the chest to the long end of the mat, but keep the navel in the front foot. Inhale to back off. Do that a couple of times. Navel in the front foot, chest to the long end of the mat. Yeah. So good. We'll pause next time the front knee bends. Chest towards the long end of the mat. Let's go wide arms, just classic arms. That's it. And then we'll deepen the hip crease on the front side. Put the forearm on the thigh, the top hand just to the hip. Turn the chest a little towards the floor. Keep the navel towards the front foot. Inhale. On the exhale, turn the chest open. Yeah. Inhale to turn down. And exhale, turn the chest open. Great. Just a few more. So good, you guys. When you're done, bring yourself back up to center. Let's parallel your feet. Bring yourself back in, but stand with the feet slightly wider than you normally stand. Go ahead, bend the knees, bring the hips back, and just rest the forearms on the thighs. Yeah. Send the inner groins back and move the chest forward. Press the tops of the thighs apart, away from each other, and in your feet, hug in a little through the ankles. Yeah. It's nice to do something symmetrical after those other shapes. When you're ready, root down into the feet. Inhale, we're up, lift the arms. Exhale, put the arms down. Yeah, you guys are almost done. We're coming to sit. Come on down. Do you feel so strong in here though? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's start here. Earlier we did a few different versions of boat pose. Next we'll do another different one. So knees are bent, heels are on the floor, toes are up. Place the hands just behind you. And then feel what happens in the lower back when you press the heels down into the floor and try to pull the heels towards the buttocks. And I'm hoping you feel the lower back draw in a little bit. And then just do the opposite, push the heels forward and see how that naturally tucks the pelvis and rounds you. Let's do it again. Heels press down, pull back, find that lift. The backs of the legs will be engaged here. Yeah. Now imagine there's a drawstring around your waist and it's just being drawn. Okay. Now if you can, let's just start with one actually. Lift one arm. Keep the heels pulling back and then down in the other arm. Yeah. And you keep the heels pulling back, yeah, the whole time. And then down. Now, if that felt okay, try both arms. Yeah, it's a lot of work for the legs. Now, if you're still good, hinge back maybe an inch or so. Keep the heels pulling back. Yes. Keep the zip and button going on in the pants. And then try this. It's hard. Bend the elbows and try to pull the hands closer, but keep the heels pulling back. Yeah, and then stretch them out again. Do two more of those. It's funny, it doesn't look like anything, but it's so hard. Keep the heels pulling back. Yeah. Good, and then rest. Oh, stretch out the legs, give them a little jiggle. Yeah. Great. Now one more, this one will be a little different still. We'll start the same way. So knees bent, find the heels pulling back, lift up through the torso. Engage all around the core, and then just lift the right leg. And now when you lift the leg, you can be bent or straight. You'll feel work going on in the front of the leg. Yeah, and then down. And then do the opposite. So pull the right heel back, pull the, lick up the left leg. Yeah, and then down. Good. Find both heels pulling back. Lift the arms if you can. That's it. And now when you lift both legs, try not to collapse down. So earlier in the beginning of class, we did the rounded state, but see if you can keep this long. Maybe one or both legs lift. You could keep both bent. You could go straight. And yeah, it'll be work here too. It's not just here. It's in the legs. Oh, yogis. And then when enough is enough, done. Completely done with those. Stretch out the legs. Jiggle them out. Baba Baba Basana. Yeah. Now we're just going to do a passive release for the hip flexors. This will be a supported bridge pose. I'm going to show two versions with blocks. And then if you don't have blocks, I'll show what to do. So version 1 would be laying down, just sliding a block under the pelvis. Oh, this feels great, just laying there. Version 2, the blocks go on the diagonal, so they're kind of wedged in. Oh, this feels good too. Yeah, I can't decide, they're both good. Now, version without the blocks is just kind of a small up and down bridge, not going to max capacity at all, just creating a little bit of a open sensation right in here. So you choose what you like. I'm gonna go with this one just because it's easiest to sit up. Yeah, Carrie, take the blocks a little wider and wedge them more on the diagonal. So yeah, more like that. But a little further away from each other, like, yeah, so the pelvis, the back of the pelvis ends up very close to the floor. Yeah, bend your knees for a second. And then turn the blocks so they're kind of like this, turn them more like this, and then pull them apart slightly. Yeah, so they're like right on the sides of the cheeks. Yeah, and it should feel good. Does it feel okay? Yeah. Yeah, yogis. All right. We could just do a whole class here, huh? Please, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You're fine. You don't want to flatten the curve. You want to keep the curves. Is it painful though? Yeah, I'll give you a few tips after class, and there's a few things that I'll recommend and a few things I won't recommend. So, yeah. Mercedes was asking, she's got a very deep curve in the lower back. Mine is almost flat, and every human is a little bit different. When you're ready to come down again, just lift the hips and pull your props out from under you. It might feel nice to do some windshield wipers. You could take the feet wider and let the knees drop from side to side. If there's anything else that feels like a good idea, you can take that too. Our next official pose here will be Shavasana. So that shape just involves laying down on your back. Now that being said, if you do have a large curve in the lower back, sometimes this one just doesn't feel good. It creates more curve. So if that's the case, you can keep the knees bent, or you can do this. This is a nice one. The blocks side by side, and then you can take your blanket and put it over the blocks, and it ends up creating a little bolster so that the legs, the backs of the thighs are lifted. Yeah, I like that one personally. And I'm gonna turn out some of these lights for you guys. Yeah, fold the blanket in half, the long ways, like hot dog style. Yeah, and then put it on top. Perfect. And as you begin to settle in here, we did so much today in the lower part of the belly, and you might still feel some tone in there, and that's okay. But if you're feeling any grippiness or tension right in the belly, see if you can let that go and allow that part of the body to move with the breath. A little rise and fall. Notice if there's any holding or tension elsewhere in the body. And see if you can let that go. Bring your awareness back to your own body. And just start to create a little movement anywhere that feels right. The fingers, the toes, maybe in your head. And if it feels good to stretch the arms, you can add that in. Eventually, let your knees bend and just roll over to one side. And from the side, press into the floor to join me here in a seated position. Sit any way that you like. Yeah. We'll meet with hands at heart center. And thank your own body for everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.